Hello and welcome to dbDOS Pro 6. This is the overview video of the dbDOS Pro 6 Configuration Manager. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Configuration Manager by starting up from the Start button, the Configuration Manager, and as you can see it pops up, and this is really the cockpit of how you get everything to run inside of dbDOS. Now the thing is that no applications can be made to work on a Windows machine, 64-bit based, if you don't have a configuration. The dbDOS Pro 6 Configuration Manager is that interface. On another video I showed you how to use EasyDOS, which makes a configuration in 3 easy steps, but it doesn't give you a lot of options. It goes ahead and fills in those options for you. So let's take a look at the environment really quickly. Up at the top we have a little icon at the window. If we click on that, you'll notice there's an About dbDOS. If you click on that, you'll notice that it brings up a dialog that shows you if there's any known issues or any structures like that. We also have a new config, we have an import config, show backups, user's guide, and the help. If you click the help button, this is what you're actually watching or hearing and watching right now, is the overview of the interface. From there, we actually have a configuration that we've created. In that configuration, you have a Run button, you have the Edit button, you have the configuration title, which we'll talk about. We also have a description for that. Then we have an ability to open a configuration file and look at it from a text structure. We have an export configuration, which makes it really easy to share these configurations with other machines. And then we have a delete button. So really simple. If you want to go ahead and create something, all you do is come in here and hit the new config, and here in a second it will pop up with a new config dialog. Now inside this new config dialog, you'll notice that you have advanced, you have help, you have the next button, but it's not actually activated yet, and you have a cancel button. The reason why it's not activated yet is because we haven't put in a configuration name. So this is dbDOS 6 and this is an example. Now I'm going to make the point that you should always put in a good configuration name. Max is 100 characters, and you should always put in a good description. I can't tell you how many times I've looked for a configuration that I've created in the past and I can't find it because I put in a poor description in it. So I really recommend doing that. Now once you do that, notice that you have the next button to continue on. Now if I go ahead and would click through this, which is going to be on the wizard video, that's what that would show you. On the advanced video, if I click onto advanced, this would take us into the one-page wizard, and it looks the exact same, except that we have, instead of the advanced, we have wizard, we have the help, we have test, save, and cancel. And so the real big thing about creating a configuration is that you're going to fill in all the information and that'll save as a configuration. If I go back and click the wizard button, it'll take me back to the wizard interface, and I'm ready to go on from that standpoint. But at this point, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this, and we'll go back to the main configuration manager. Now, notice that I have the sample one down here, and it says use with dbDOS Pro 6. I could kick this off or run that by clicking the little blue button at any time. I could also notice I have a shortcut up on my desktop that says sample. So I know that that's the sample that I was trying earlier that is tied to this one. Now a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and double click on this. When I double click on this, you'll notice that it brings up here in a second the running application. So here we have the application was running in the background. We have all of our information ready to go inside of here. And then I can come in here and notice I can use everything just like what you would expect to do it. When I come out to a C prompt, I can type in the word dir and I'll get the directory structure. If I come up, this is always important to remember, if you come up and click on the little icon button up here, not only will you get an about, which tells you about the process, but you'll also get some additional options like paste from Windows. So we can actually take information from Windows and paste it into a dbDOS session. Or we can print to the clipboard, which allows us then to take that information from the clipboard and bring it back into Windows from a DOS application. And we also have the print screens that allows you to print out a screen that you're on, and you can do that with Control Print Screen, and it'll automatically put that into the buffer, and you can save it or print it or do with it what you want. So the idea behind this is that we can go ahead and create these configurations and we can run various applications on there. Now notice I clicked the little red button up here, and one of the new features inside of dbDOS Pro 6 is the fact that it asks you to confirm to exit. I'm going to go ahead and hit no, and it'll go away and everything is back like it was. If I wanted to, I could do a dir/w and I would get the wide directory on that. Or if I want to come in here and type in the word exit, I can do that and that'll go ahead and close that configuration down. So that's how easy it is to actually use a configuration. But the bigger point is what do these things mean? Well, if I wanted to, I could click on this run button and it'll kick off something here in a second. And when I kicked off on that one, this is a different configuration. This is just going to be running dbase, but you'll notice it comes up and it says it's ready to go. I go ahead and hit the red button. There's the little error that comes up and says, hey, are you sure you want to do this? I am. So we go ahead and close out. The next item on the list is the edit button. So I can come in here and notice it's got sample, it's got all the stuff, and I can hit next, or I can go to advanced and see all of the stuff in one screen if I so desire. I can also use my mouse wheel to scroll down through those options. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel out of there. Again, the name, the configuration title is always important, and the description is always important. Make sure you use those. Now, there are times when you may want to change a configuration file that isn't available through the wizard or through the advanced, and that's usually when you're talking to somebody from dbase. So sometimes we might ask you to go ahead and print out a configuration and send it to us by email, or something like that. So you would normally come in and click on the little pencil. It's going to come up with this warning saying that we're going to hurt you if you go ahead and change anything. But usually, like I said, you're talking to somebody from dbase and we walk you through this stuff so that it makes it pretty straightforward. When you start, you'll notice that we now have a huge configuration file, and each one of those items inside of there actually dictates how well your configuration works or doesn't work. So we like to keep these things separate, but we wanted to make it easy that if you're talking to somebody from dbase, you could get in there and modify those configurations. Now, you could also export. So you can come in here very quickly and just click the export button. It's going to ask you where you want to put the export. Notice it names it sample.dbDOS. We go ahead and save. This is just going to be in the documents directory. And then we'll get back to that later. And then if we wanted to, we could delete it, pop up a little button that says, go ahead and close. So let me show you that. We'll go over here. We'll just close this top one here. Delete. Yes. And it's gone. That quick. Now, we've had a lot of people ask us for the ability to sort the configuration titles and also the descriptions. So we've now added the ability to come in here and sort either on the name or to sort on the description. Either way. Now, one of the cool parts about that is that while you did do the sorting on there, one of the things that you can do is when you exit out of there, I'm going to exit out of the configuration manager. I'm going to restart that configuration manager here in a second. And when that restarts, you'll notice that it's back into what it was before as the date order. So, we allow you to mess with it while you're in the session. It doesn't actually change the order in which it actually gets displayed every single time you bring it up. It's just there for you to help you find something that you're looking for. Now, as we talked about before, if I wanted to import a configuration, I could come into here. It takes me to the documents and I can see the sample DOS. I open this up. It's going to say, do you want to bring this in? I do. Notice it brought in a new sample one ready for us to go, and we could look at that and work with it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. We don't need that. If by chance we make backups when you're creating configurations, you may want to set up a backup, and the backups are automatic, so you can go in there and click on that and it will show all the things. Notice it shows me the sample that I just deleted. So I don't really want this, so I'm going to just go click it again and I'll go back to my normal view. But the cool part about that is that we do save you in case you delete something. We can always get it back for you, and that's again what we try to do. And then of course the user's guide, if you click on the user's guide, that's going to bring up the actual user's guide for the product. So, you can click on that and that'll bring up the PDF of the run. And if you click the help, this is that video. So you'll understand a little bit more about that. Now, one last thing. Notice as we're flying over things, we put the description in there. Notice down at the bottom, here in this corner, you now have the description of what it is. So it goes ahead and tries to tell you exactly what you're looking at inside of this. Also, we have the date and time now down in here, and we tell you the number of configurations you have on your environment. So that really is an overview of the dbDOS configuration structure, and I think that it's well worth the time to listen to these videos. Hopefully you got some enjoyment out of it. Hopefully you know how to use the product just a little bit better, and be on the lookout for the wizard and also the advanced videos as well to walk you through those steps. Thanks a lot for listening. Have a great day, and thanks for supporting dbDOS Pro 6.